Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron. Again, it's the last week of the season for the Chargers before the postseason begins. Chargers on the road against the Denver Broncos. Big story for us as we were talking, guys, the other day and what we thought the roster was going to look like, meaning how many of the starters are going to play and what is the goal for Brandon Staley as far as how important is a win and how important is safety for your starters as you want to be healthiest going into the postseason. Guys, as we wrapped up, I was saying, hey, man, I'm playing to win. I'm kind of going about this game the way they did against the Rams, where make sure you have the victory in hand and then worry about resting the guys that might be the playmakers for you or guys you can't afford to lose for the postseason. Has your feeling changed on how you would attack this game against the Broncos?
First off, I was attacked last show by YouTube people that said, I said you play it safe. You know, I wouldn't get the guys hurt, but I still stay the same way. If you're up comfortably at the half, you sit them. Even if you're not up comfortably at the half, you still sit them because you don't want to risk an injury going into the playoffs. I understand that you want to go hot in the playoffs. A win streak would be great, but the health is more important of Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, these guys, way more important than actually winning the game, in my opinion.
I think a lot of it comes down to what happens at the 1 o'clock window. Like, let's say by grace of God, the Ravens beat the Bengals, which I don't think they will, but let's just say they do. Then I think you got to play them the whole game because you got to secure that win. I think it's going to be a little bit closer of a game with the Broncos just because that's just what history will tell us. So I think if Ravens win, yeah, you got to play your guys. You got to roll in with the hot streak. You got to get your guys going. You got to get that fifth spot. But if Ravens lose, I agree with you, Josh, that I don't see them playing very much. Even at halftime, I'd cut it short. But if Ravens somehow beat the Bengals, then I think they should play their guys the whole game and secure a W.
So here's what's interesting. Again, Mara, I'll point out the fact you're in Indianapolis. When Peyton Manning was quarterback of the Colts, there are many times where people thought, man, the Colts are the best team in football, and this is the year that they're going to knock off the Patriots, whatever the case was. And often we saw the Patriots get the best of the Colts. But the Colts were always known for sitting guys, and back in the day, it was game 16. And then it didn't pay off for the Colts. I understand the whole point in keeping those guys healthy, but it seemed like taking too much time off hurt you. You get out of a rhythm. Now, none of you guys are saying don't even dress those guys. You guys are saying you dress them, you play them, you just take them out at a certain point. My big thing is winning is contagious. And as I used to say to Josh when he was young, and I'd beat him in the driveway in basketball, and I'd say, you can't win. It's 2 against 1. It's me and Mo. I got momentum, and you have no chance of winning. And that lasted for a few years until he figured out how to beat me on a regular basis. But
I was about to say, when was this? Yeah,
this was. Calm down. I had my share of wins. Maybe you weren't very tall at that point, but I had my share of wins. So the deal is nothing like momentum and a 5-game winning streak. Believing that you're invincible, I think, goes a long way, and that's why I'm not concerned about injuries. Injuries are going to happen in this sport, especially. And I'm going for the Chargers to go all out and get that victory. I think riding that 5-game winning streak gives the Chargers basically that feeling of invincibility. Yeah, trying to get that last win there. There you go, Mario. Right there. There's my one for the season. As far as them going into the postseason, there's nobody better than us. But if you lose, all of a sudden you start to question, what did we do wrong? And are we going back to the days when we weren't playing very good football?
Okay, what's more important to you? I'll go right back at you. Winning the game, being healthy, or playing the Jaguars? How would you rank those 3 things right there? What from most important to least important?
Well, if you could tell me when someone's going to get hurt, then I'm going to say being healthy. But you don't know when guys are.
Okay, then how's that not your answer for why you wouldn't?
It can happen. It can happen anywhere. You know, it could happen. Justin Herbert stepping off the bus.
It's not going to happen on the
side.
It's not going to happen on the sideline.
How do you know? You've seen those guys run a ray. right. All of a sudden they go, that guy just ran a ray and took me out. I don't know what to tell you, man. I just want to see a win. You guys, if you're going to play this game scared, you shouldn't be playing.
Oh, that's why I don't play. That's why I talk about the game. Yeah, I'm done with that.
All right.
Obviously, I want the Chargers
out.
Obviously, I want the Chargers to have momentum. That's such a real thing. We see that with the LA Dodgers, right? They fail every year in the postseason because they rest their guys at the end of the year, and then they can't play well when it matters. You don't want to see that happen with the other LA team with the Chargers. So I think the Chargers should focus on having momentum and going to the playoffs. But like I said, I want these guys healthy. One thing that Charger fans like to talk about is Justin Herbert, 5,000 passing yards. He's not going to get it this year. He's not even at 4,500. which I say like it's nothing. He has a lot of passing yards. He's not going to get that. There's not many milestones stat-wise I want these guys to even have. So that's where I stand completely. Just be safe, play the first half, get your reps in, sit.
Yeah, you really don't want to be the Dodgers when you have like the most talented team, arguably in MLB
Yep.
history, and then
Mhm.
you get embarrassed by like your so-called little brother, like just a couple miles down. That's embarrassing. You don't want that, and then
Yep.
you get thrown and bullied on Twitter, but couldn't be me. I don't know, it's so tough because also what are we gonna get from the Broncos, right? Like, is this gonna be an inspired Broncos team? Like, is this team gonna be still wanting to play? Like, I think that also comes into factor too. Like, is this a group of guys that are in their second game with their interim head coach and are gonna have the same juice they had with the Chiefs? If so, then I think that does change things. But if not, then it should be a fairly easy roll over win. I don't know, to me, it just so depends. And I hate this mindset too of focusing on another game and not 100% on your game, because then you're not 100% ready for your game. If you're like, okay, what's the score of Ravens Bengals, and you're worried about that all the way up to kickoff, and that determines your game plan, then you're not focused on you. So that I get that side of it, and that side does bother me. But at the same time, the Los Angeles Chargers have the worst luck. And it would be very Chargers if, like, on the first drive, Herbert gets hurt, then Eckler gets hurt, and it's just like, okay, here we go. Like,
No. Sorry, dude.
Don't
You know what's
say
the
that.
most Charger thing of all time? So I got to cut you off. They play all their guys and they still lose. That would be the most Charger thing.
yeah,
Right, that's
that
true.
would be it. Yeah, that would be it.
That's true.
Sorry.
And Ravens
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, look, here's the good news is we're talking about the team going into the postseason and what is our dream scenario. So if you ask me, Mario, what I think we're going to get from the Broncos, you're going to get guys that are going to play extremely hard. And, coaches, basically, their fate's already been decided. Whoever comes in as the new head coach for the for the Broncos, he'll be the one that decides who stays, who goes. More than likely, all the coaches that are currently with the Broncos are all going to be shown the door at the end of the year. It's the players on the field that are making basically tape for the new coach to see, is that guy worth keeping on the team as I take over as the new head coach? That's what they're doing. And then they're just trying to decide from that tape if they're going to keep those guys. If they aren't going to keep those guys, are those guys putting enough on tape for another team in the NFL to say they're worth signing, picking up, whatever the case may be? And so those guys are going to play hard. I can't see the players on the Broncos not giving 100% effort. I mean, if you knew your boss is about to be shown the door and the new guys watching, you're going to be putting together the best show possible. I think it's human nature.
Yeah, if I'm on the Broncos, I'm trying to ball out without Nathaniel Hackett as my coach. Le'Veon Bell was on Twitter this week. Some fan was going at him. He said, "You can't count my Adam Gase here," is what he said. So that doesn't count. I thought that was just so funny that he put it on Twitter. But I bet you players on the Broncos think the same thing. My Nathaniel Hackett year doesn't count. I got to play well when I have a different coach to show that I can actually play in this league. Same with these coaches that are still there. I got to prove that I can coach in this league without Nathaniel Hackett. Because when you have Nathaniel Hackett, you're already losing the game by 17 points. The guy does have no idea what he's doing out there. Best thing the Broncos did all season was cut him short. But it's interesting, man. Frank Reich getting linked to the Chargers as the OC for next year is really interesting to me. I would take him personally. I know Mario has seen him more than any of us, but Frank Reich to me would be a huge upgrade from Joe Lombardi.
Mario, what do you think? I mean, I have some experience with Frank Reich too, so I want to hear what you have to say.
So when you guys first mentioned this, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go through just like offensive stats and everything, kind of like see where he ranks. I think it's honestly would be a better higher. I mean, it would be better than Lombardi. I do believe that 110%. And whatever you want to say about Frank Reich as a head coach, yeah, he did struggle, but you gotta factor in Brissett, Father Philip at Jesus' age. Then you had Carson Wentz, who was unfixable, and then you had Matt Ryan. It wasn't like he was given a Herbert. He wasn't given anything. The one year he was given a great quarterback, and what the Colts was Andrew Luck, and they had the 7th best offense in the NFL. They were 6th in passing in the NFL. Andrew Luck had almost an MVP year. They made it to the second round of the playoffs. They weren't great on the ground, but then again, if anyone can even name the running back during that span, I'll give you $500 because I guarantee you cannot. So I think that's the thing that I would say is like when Frank Reich does have a QB, like he is a very, very good offensive play caller. You saw that in 2017 with the Eagles. He got whatever he could out of Wentz, and then he got whatever he could out of Nick Foles. So yeah, when I look at the resume, I'll go, yeah, this is a guy that I would 100% take. as an offensive coordinator. I do think he'll have another shot as head coach because that situation in Indy was so bad. But yeah, he's better than Lombardi. I would take him over Lombardi 110%.
Now, I don't even know if he would take the job. I mean, as you just said,
Yeah.
he was a head coach. I think a lot of people who are football guys will say he was treated unfairly in Indianapolis, that he shouldn't have been shown the door. It wasn't a Nathaniel Hackett situation, that he should have kept his job. I mean, as you said, when he had luck, even Philip Rivers took him to the postseason. But the quarterbacks he's had the last few years have been really some of the worst in the NFL. And you're starting to realize now, with Wentz even going to Washington, on how bad it's been and how much even Wentz is hated. And some people are saying by Ron Rivera playing Wentz last week that he might have lost his job off of that decision, and saying, you cost us a chance to be in the postseason. The players on the team weren't going to play harder for him. He makes bad decisions. I think he threw 3 interceptions. You didn't give Frank Reich an opportunity to succeed when you decided to go Wentz and Matt Ryan. And so I think he's one of the better offensive minds in the NFL. I don't know if he would take an assistant coaching job. For people who have followed the Chargers for a number of years, he was the offensive coordinator for this team when Mike McCoy was here. My only complaint with Frank Reich when he was here was, and again, I'll defer to you, Mario, on this, is that Frank Reich didn't use the tight ends. And I used to always say, why not more? I don't understand why we weren't using more tight end sets. The tight end obviously always seems like the toughest thing for NFL defenses to basically cover and work with, as we've seen what happens with the success of the Ravens and the Chiefs on a weekly basis. That I always thought Frank Reich should have used more of a tight end set, but he didn't. But I think he's one of the better offensive minds. I think he's better than Lombardi, going back to your original point, Josh. And if he would take the OC job and the Chargers were interested, yeah, in a second, I'd bring Frank Reich back to the Chargers.
On average, there's 7 head coaching vacancies every NFL offseason. Do you guys think he gets one of those 7 spots?
That's an interesting question. Is he considered a good enough coach to say yes? I mean, what would be the
super
best
borderline
possible fit? Yeah.
He's very borderline. While you guys think about that, I want to go back to something Mario said. He said that Philip Rivers was as old as Jesus Christ when he was quarterback for the Colts. I think Jesus passed away at 33, but Philip Rivers was 39 when he's the quarterback for the Colts. So he was actually older than Jesus Christ.
That's true.
If we're going to talk about that. But Frank Reich, dude, he's borderline if he actually becomes a head coach again. If I'm him and I do have the option of being in a great situation with the Chargers and Justin Herbert and all the talent they have, or go to a crappy team who just fired their head coach, why would you not want to kind of build up your resume even more and stick with the Chargers? You're going to be successful, dude. You have so many good players on one side of the ball. You're good enough as a coach to make them, even better than they are. Joe Lombardi, from what we understand, is not good at his job. Anybody besides him, to me, is an upgrade.
I agree with you on that too. Like, why not take a year and go? I'm like you said, we're very borderline and getting a head coaching job. So why not take a year? Go, hey, I'm gonna go be the OC of a top 3 quarterback in the league. I'm gonna put everything I have into it, really pump up his stats, pump up the offense, and honestly, in a year he'll probably get another job. If you go somewhere and you create a juggernaut offense in Los Angeles, he will probably get another head coaching job. And he'll probably get one with another team that one is tanking for Caleb Williams. So he could have that for you. Go, hey, look what I did with Herbert when I finally had a quarterback. Look what I did with Luck. Look what I did with Wentz at Philly. So that's like something that could really, really help him. I don't really see him in this coaching carousel getting brought in, but crazier things have happened. Jeff Saturday was a head coach, so like crazier things have happened. And we mentioned like Philip Rivers. Yeah, like he was 39, very much so, last leg of his career. And still in that span, they were 11th in passing that year. 11th best passing offense. Yeah, was it no pass, like greater than 10 yards? Yeah, but he schemed right and he found something good. So, yeah, I do agree with your point there, Josh, that how great it could help Frank going, here's Herbert for a year, see what we can do with him. That could do numerous things to his career and to get him really back at a head coaching job. But it is an ego check.
So you said in an average, Josh, 7. 7 usually is the average of the NFL, that you find out that there's 7 teams are going to look for new coaches. I can only find 6, or maybe I can find 7 right here. You guys tell me if he'd be right for any of these. First of all, the Colts are going to look for a new coach, but obviously Frank Reich's not going to be the guy. So Texans are going to look for a new coach. Could be, I think, Mario, you said Lovie Smith could be coming back for another year because the players love him. I mean, he's going to finish 2-14. Maybe they get the third win this weekend. I believe they play the Colts. But Texans are going to look for a new coach. The Broncos are going to look for a new coach. The Commanders could be looking for a new coach, as we just said. The Chicago Bears, think they're looking for a new coach, Mario?
I think they're going to give Flus one more year because kind of similar to Lovey, the players will die for him. Like, they love him a lot, and they play really, really hard for him. But I do think in 2 years, if he doesn't do anything next year, Buddy's out.
Okay. Panthers are going to be looking for a new coach. And the
know.
Cardinals are going to be – you don't think the Panthers are looking for a new coach?
The players have come out in Carolina, and they said they want Steve Wilkes to stay there.
I understand. And you know what?
Yeah.
They've played inspired football since they fired Matt Rule. But remember, the Raiders said the same thing about, their coach last year when they made the postseason, and they still blew him out. There's rumors that Jim Harbaugh has already been talking to the Panthers. Well, I just threw them out there as a team supposedly. Yeah. And then you have the Arizona Cardinals are going to be looking for a new coach. Okay. Is Frank Reich a candidate for any of those jobs? Could you see? Could he be the guy in Arizona possibly because of Kyler Murray?
Yeah, and I would take Cliff Kingsbury if that was the case.
I would take Cliff Kingsbury as my offensive coordinator too. And
I think him and Justin Herbert would be lethal together. I'd actually take him over Frank Reich, to be honest. I know Mario doesn't like that. He's not a Cliff Kingsbury guy. I would take Cliff Kingsbury over Frank Reich, to be 100% honest. I think he's just more relatable to the younger guys.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad call at all. Like, I'd be for it. I don't know like enough of his offensive stats and everything to like give an accurate answer. But yeah, I'm not the biggest Cliff guy. That's been kind of, I think I've been obvious. But offensive mind in the NFL, yeah, I think he probably needed a little bit more growing as a head coach before he could have taken over an organization.
Okay, so I just mentioned a second ago, Jim Harbaugh. The rumor is he's already been talking to Carolina. Again, two teams, obviously, you know a lot about, Mario. Indianapolis and the Bears. You said the Bears will give their head coach, you believe, another year. Jim Harbaugh, would he be a candidate for the Colts job? I mean, two teams he played for were the Bears and the Colts. That's why I bring up Harbaugh.
I think he would be great with the Colts for the sole reason of he would look at Jonathan Taylor and that line and go, this is the absolute dream I've ever had in my life. Like, you're telling me I get to run the football like this many times. You got to get the line to play, and you're paying him a lot of money, so you got to figure that part out. But that would be something I think would be a lot more in the cards. I don't get Panthers. I'm sorry, but like, I do not get wanting the Panthers job or like what's attractive about that job. Like, literally nothing. Like, when people, I saw one thing today of someone saying, with Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh were two names, like, Carolina. I'm like, if I'm either of those two guys, I'm staying the farthest hell away from Carolina. Like, I don't see anything there that would attract me to that spot. Like, what do you have going for you?
I would take the Texans job over the Carolina job.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
At least you can have a quarterback, right? At least there's a chance you have Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or whatever. I would take the Texans job over the Panthers.
Everybody says the Panthers have a top defense. You just got to build the offense up. But
yeah,
I wouldn't want the Panthers job either, honestly.
I mean, you need a quarterback. Who's your quarterback?
You have Sam Darnold.
Matt Corral. Yeah. Remember him, Ole Miss guy?
Yeah,
he's on the team.
He's good. Hurt.
Yeah.
Will Anderson said when he was at Alabama, he's the best player he ever played against in college. I'm like, that's crazy to say.
It is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually saw that game in person at Ole Miss, Alabama. He was good. He's really good, but I don't know if he's the future of the franchise.
Yeah.
No, he got hurt not playing. I mean, basically this year. He missed the whole year because he got hurt. Someone stepped on his shadow when he was down. I don't know. Anyway, I would take the Texans job. The Frank Reich situation, I think, is interesting. Going back to the point of the whole conversation, I think we're all just looking for a replacement for Lombardi because it looks like Staley is definitely keeping his job. And I know there are people, when we brought this up last show, got extremely upset that we even brought the topic up. Did he do enough to keep his job? Yeah, you know what? When you go into the postseason as the number 5 seed, you probably did enough to keep your job. The only way that would happen would be if Justin Herbert went to management and said, hey, you got to get rid of this guy. This guy is killing us. And that's not going to happen.
I got to bring up something that I saw on Twitter. I have to talk about this. Somebody, I'm not going to mention who, it's 2 Charger fans. They're very prominent on Twitter. They made like a "We Love Joe Lombardi" Twitter thread, and they just got destroyed by Charger fans who are like, are you out of your freaking mind? Like, they were so pissed that these 2 people thought it was a good idea to bring him back. Charger fans absolutely want Joe Lombardi gone. I don't even think it's like a debate anymore what the Chargers are going to do next season. He's for sure the guy you have to move on for. Brandon Staley, I don't know what his relationship is with Joe Lombardi, how close they are, but do you think he has the guts to move on from him? Do you think he'll be able to do that?
Go ahead, Mara.
I would say yeah. 'Cause I think he has to recognize the window he's in, or like kind of like the pressure he's like. It's one of those. Speaking of him, Frank Wright, he pulled this year. Throw someone under the bus. There are some struggles this year. Yeah, let someone go. Yeah, throw someone on the bus. Frank Wright fired the offensive coordinator this year for the Colts, for people that didn't know that. And for people that also don't know that, Frank Wright calls the plays. All right. Like, that does it. All right. What are you going to do? So, yeah, I think he would have, because you want that next step. You want that next improvement. And whatever his relationship is with Lombardi, I think they both know that understanding of, hey, this year was not good enough with the offensive stats and where he stood, that maybe the next step could be better. So I do think so. I'm curious what you think, Dave, because you got something on your mind. Like, I could feel like you're about to really take me down here.
No, I'm not. No, here's what I was thinking about as Josh brought this up, was how this has all changed in the history of the NFL. Is it used to be that a head coach comes in, he picks his staff, and if management said, we want you to get rid of so-and-so, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, whatever it is, the head coach would refuse. And if they said no, either you fire him or you're fired too, the head coach would say, oh, well, I'm going out with him. Now those days don't exist anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that they should. It makes sense now. The deal is, when Josh said, does Brandon Staley have it in him to say goodbye to Joe Lombardi, who obviously they spend a ton of time together? It goes back to what I said in the last show. Tom Telesco's job as general manager of the Chargers is to continue to find ways to make the team better. Even if your team is 17-0, your job is to find ways to make the team better. And that's your only job. As the head coach of the Chargers, Brandon Staley's job is to figure out a way to make the team better as well. And Josh, going back to your point, and we've watched every single play of Charger football, just like so many other people are who are listening to us right now. How many times does it seem like the Chargers offense is designed to throw the ball even behind the line of scrimmage? I mean, it's insane. Remember this, every play that's ever drawn up in an NFL playbook is designed to score a touchdown. So what the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, shaking your head when you're sitting there going, we have the ball on the 10-yard line and we have to go 90 yards, and our play is to dump it off behind the line of scrimmage, and we're thinking we're going 90. It's insane. The thought process is insane. The playbook has to be the craziest damn thing of all time. And it's funny, at my house right now, I have old playbooks from the University of Alabama when it was Steve Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin were the offensive coordinators. And these books are like this big, all right? I mean, they're like 4 phone books together, and that's just for that week. And you're going, oh, man, this is like a foreign language. You can't figure out what the hell these guys are doing and how their minds work. If I saw Lombardi's playbook, I think I'd throw up. I go, what is in this thing? This is not an answer for success. And I think, honestly, the Chargers have gone extremely far despite what Lombardi has put together. I think he's a horrific offensive coordinator. And for all the talent they have, and they have a ton of it on the offensive side of the ball, man, it is ridiculous that they haven't scored 35 points in any game this year.
If you're pro Joe Lombardi, my argument back to you is, what do you like about him? What about his play calling?
His last name.
Like?
I like the fact he's related to Vince Lombardi. That Vince Lombardi was his grandfather. It's the coolest thing about him. Yeah, otherwise, there's nothing cool about him.
Yeah, nothing. There's nothing you can say about his play calling that you'd want back. There's been 2 constants in the Chargers offense this season. Joe Lombardi's play calling has been bad, and Matt Filer at left guard has been anemic. So those are 2 immediate weaknesses the Chargers need to address going into next season. I want to move on, though, to the game this week. We play the Broncos. I'm going to assume we play our guys. If we do play our full team, I don't think this game should be close. Going back to the Monday Night Football game where the Chargers played the Broncos, that was probably the ugliest win the Chargers had this season. Would you guys agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. Russell Wilson ended terribly, but he started out on fire. If you guys remember that, Chargers did just enough to win that game. I don't see it playing out that way this week with it being in Denver still. Even a away game, I see the Chargers winning this thing by at least 2 touchdowns. I can't see the Broncos coming back with enough energy after their new coach's second game. We always talk about the first game, teams play with weird energy. Second game, they fall off the cliff, kind of like Jeff Saturday with the Colts. I see this situation kind of similar to that, where the Chargers take a big lead and kind of just run with it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of Broncos players have their flights scheduled for Mexico. Little Cancun, like the vacation. They're thinking about that. That's in the locker at that game. You mentioned Lombardi's play calling, and if this first matchup didn't show the struggle of his play calling, Justin Herbert threw the ball 57 times. 57 times. When you hear that, you'd think there's no way he threw for less than 300 yards, right? When you throw the ball 57 freaking times. He didn't throw for 300. He didn't throw for 270. I almost said 275. Not 265. Not 250. He threw for 238. That is so depressingly impressive. That's probably not a word, but still, it's so depressing. That's impressive. So that's just something to tie the knot on that one. But yeah, I don't think the Broncos. I think they'll get up for this game if it starts off in their favor. But I think as soon as you put a little pound on them, I think they're done. I think they're going to kind of roll over.
It's funny. One of the things about this game, as far as if you're the Denver Broncos, as I said, 10 minutes ago, that a lot of these guys are playing for that highlight tape. They're playing for a reason to show people why they belong in this organization or for the next organization, which means guys are going to be overly aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. And this is where I think you honestly can catch guys making mistakes. This is one of those where I do my play action fakes. I would go deep early. I know that sounds crazy. That's not Charger football. As a matter of fact, I would show things in this game if I was the Chargers that's not normal what the Chargers have been doing during the regular season. Meaning I would make whoever they're facing in week one of the postseason, whether it's Tennessee or it's Jacksonville or whoever they end up running into, is the fact that now we have to prepare for that play. Do you understand what I mean? Throwing a couple dummy plays in there to say, okay, look, this is something they now have to spend practice time doing to say there's a chance they could do this. Whether the right first play of the game, whether that's a fake handoff to Austin Eckler and boom, you're throwing deep to Mike Williams or your guy Carter, whatever the case is I start throwing a couple things in that we haven't done. And maybe this is the time to try a couple things out. I don't think any of us believe this is a game that won't be in hand for the Chargers. We're all going to predict win at the end of the show. And maybe you sit and you try some things out that maybe you're afraid to try out before because it was out of your element.
Yeah, one of the big strengths of the Broncos this season has been their defense. Has not been the case recently. This is a Broncos team that you can score a lot of points on. Going back to what Mario said, by the way, 57 passing attempts, 238 passing yards. For those at home, that's 4 yards per pass. Impressive.
I can do that left-handed.
Impressive, dude. Like how? How does that happen? I've never heard of that before. But I agree with Dave 100%. You got to stretch this thing out, man. Like, why not? Like, there's really nothing to lose. Work on some things that you're not great at. And one of the things we're not great at is actually throwing the ball down the field consistently. We can do it. We just don't do it consistently. I'd like to see the Chargers do that. Be careful with rolling Justin Herbert outside the pocket, though, in this game. Like we said, we don't want him to get hurt. But going to the playoffs, that's going to be something that we're going to have to do. Get him outside the pocket and throw on the run. Do that a little bit, but not too much because we want to keep him healthy.
For a guy that hasn't been too banged up this year, I would really, really be light on Eckler's carries this Sunday. I'd say he's barely going to get the ball. For all you fantasy owners out there, I would bench him because just be safe. Just don't give him the ball. He's the only guy that's powered through it all. The guy that's always stayed on the field. And like you said, this Broncos defense, it's kind of been their only good thing. But like in the past 5 games, they've given up 27.4 points during that span. Yeah, Mahomes twice. I'll give you that. Sorry. But Baker Mayfield put up 51 on you on a playbook he just got.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so tough one there. This is a big game for my boy, by the way, guys. And you guys are all freaking about him. Bandy. Big game. Big game. If there's an anytime touchdown score for Bandy, all the units are going on that one. I'll tell you that right now.
That's too funny. If you only average 4 yards a pass, do you even need to warm up as a quarterback?
No.
And how you go to a game early, you go to an NFL game and you get in your seat and you see the teams on the field and the receivers are running routes and you have all the quarterbacks out there. Do the Chargers and Broncos, they just sit there and you're looking field side to side and you're looking at that one team that's just running 40-yard outs? I mean, there's like, what are you doing? What are you practicing if you're averaging 40 yards a pass? That's insane. That's crazy. Didn't Eckler average like 10 yards a carry last week? That's crazy.
12.
Damn,
Yeah.
12 yards a carry. 3 times the amount that you're getting passing. That's freaking nuts.
I think
That-
if you
that-
took my high school stats, I averaged that, and my only 2 routes I ever ran was an out route for 5 yards and a hitch route for 6 yards. So that's an issue.
All right, I'm gonna do my. I'm gonna go through my players of the game. The two people I think are gonna show up, and I'll go my score prediction as well. On offense, Gerald Everett. I see Gerald Everett getting more involved in the pass game as we go into the playoffs. I think Gerald Everett has a touchdown in this game. I love Gerald Everett as a weapon for the Chargers going into the playoffs all the way through. You need a tight end to win in the playoffs. You need a tight end to win when it matters. You've seen that with Tom Brady many times. You've seen that with Peyton Manning many times. Great, obviously Patrick Mahomes. You need a good tight end to win in the playoffs. I think Gerald Everett has a big game. On defense, Drew Tranquill should have made the Pro Bowl. For what he's done for this defense, he should have made the Pro Bowl. This dude is a tackle machine. I think Drew Tranquill leads the team in tackles for the 800th time this season. So those would be my 2 guys. And then score prediction, I'm going to go Chargers win 31-9. I think the Chargers win big. Defense has been great. Offense has been better. I think they put it together on both sides of the ball. 31-9 is my score prediction.
All right, I tell you, I'm gonna go second because I'm gonna pick a guy that none of us have picked before. Okay, but if you look at the way he's been playing, he's actually been playing really well the last few weeks. All right, defense, I'm going Morgan Fox. Is my guy.
I like that. Nice.
Okay.
Gosh, darn it, dude.
See, I was afraid one of you were gonna pick him. Were you thinking that route too, Mario?
Yeah, I was looking up his stats. I forgot one of his stats recently, and I was like, God, just go, Dave.
And when he stepped up a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, I got to remember this guy. Have I not picked him because he has been playing better, which is great for the Chargers. And most people know Morgan Fox because of his dog, right? They all. I mean, seriously, I hate to say it, but most people know him. He's the guy with the championship dog. But I'm going Morgan Fox on defense, and I'm going to go Mike Williams. I'm going Mike Williams. I think he continues to get better and better. He's going to be my offensive guy.
What about the score?
Going score, we're going 38-13.
Nice.
God, you guys are.
They're gonna go out. They're gonna go over the 35 mark finally.
Okay.
Wow.
What do you got, Mario?
God, you guys. Gosh. So, yeah, you screwed me up so much taking Morgan Fox. God,
I can't believe
literally
you were thinking the same thing.
Oh, I thought I was like, oh, this is gonna be. I can't wait for the points to make. Like I was like sitting here. I was like, I freaking found something.
I thought
was
one
like,
of you would take Van Noy for sure.
I was about to say Van Noy. Been a leader recently. I ran Fernando on. He said he's been a big guy in the locker room. I think he's gonna be a huge voice just in this game, kind of like handling this weird situation where they're in. We're like, should we play guys? Should we go 110%? So I'm just looking for him for that leadership role. I think it's gonna be very, very key for the Chargers because a lot of these guys are in a pretty unknown spot. AKA our best player in Herbert's in the spot of going to the playoffs. So I'm gonna look for Van Noy in that just leadership aspect. Gosh, I don't want to like take your guy, but I'm gonna take your guy, and you know what? I'm not gonna feel bad about it. Gerald Everett's my guy.
Oh, dude, how you not take a Bandy? What the hell's
Oh
wrong
my
with you?
God, screw that all out. I can't count out Bandy. I'm so sorry, Bandy.
You have to.
I'd have to take Bandy.
This is the day.
Bandy to score a touchdown. That's what's happening this
Okay.
Sunday. If that happens, I am buying all 3 of us jerseys. Michael Bandy. All right. And then for final score predictions, like I said, Broncos have been giving up 27.4 points a game. So I'm trying to stick around that. I think Chargers get 28. I think there's nothing left in this Broncos offense. They're tired of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's tired of them. Like, I just don't think they have anything in there. So I think they'll score a touchdown. And then besides that, I think they'll get a field goal 28-10. I think Chargers do roll them. And Broncos are not even upset about it. They go in the locker room and they take their tickets and they go on vacation. I think that's what's going to happen.
You still have to do that exit interview on Monday. That's the only thing.
Oh,
guys
yeah.
aren't going anywhere till Monday afternoon. You got to do that exit interview. Yeah.
How's this season? Bad.
Yeah. Not great, buddy.
Dude, what do you think Russell Wilson's exit interview is? I mean, holy cow. You know, it's a fine mess you got us into, Russell. You know,
Yeah.
even the sandwich company stopped showing your commercials. Steph Curry looks to the left and goes, "What happened to my buddy Russell? He's not ordering sandwiches today. He's out of the commercial."
Think about how long they stood with the guy before him too, and they dumped Russell in 2 weeks. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great point. Great point.
Yeah. God, that's crazy. Think about Denver sports, though. All right, I mean, just by the Rockies, their big signing was Chris Bryant. Didn't hit one home run for the Rockies in Colorado the whole year, you know. And then they get Russell Wilson, and hey, Russell, we love having you here. Go out and throw the first pitch out, even for the Rockies game. We just can't get enough Russell Wilson. And then Russell Wilson, S's the bed too. I mean, oh my gosh, dude, what a mess! What a complete mess. Oh man.
Before we get into picking games, I want to ask you two guys a quick question. There's really good games this weekend that mean a lot. Out of these 3 games, which one are you most excited about? The Titans, Jaguars, the Packers, and the Lions, and there's one more that the Bengals and the Ravens. Which one are you guys most excited about out of those 3 games?
You want me to go first? Okay, yeah. So here's the deal. I would normally say it's the Titans, Jags. The Titans have lost, I think, 6 in a row. Joshua Dobbs is going to be the quarterback. Titans right now, even if they win, man, there's no chance. They're running on fumes. It's a complete failure through their roster and firing the GM a few weeks ago. The GM has to be laughing his rear end. John Robinson has to be so happy to watch the Titans fall apart. That game to me is boring. I think Jacksonville wins that game. And so that's not the game. Here's the craziest thing I wouldn't have guessed in 1,000 years. Packers. That the game I'm looking forward to is the Packers and Lions. I can't believe it. I cannot believe I'm ever looking forward to a Lions game.
Dude, they're exciting. They're fun to watch.
Exciting.
They play hard, man. I mean, that's all you want. I mean, I joked on that guy that, grit rhymes with the S word as soon as he said it, during Hard Knocks. And I'm sitting there looking at that team, and, dude, they have shown grit. They have no defense. That defense stinks. And yet they manage to put wins together, and they're playing hard. And you're going, what the hell? And we talked about firings a second ago. Remember Dan Campbell just said, that guy's out. It's killing this team. The coach had to be sitting there going, this is the worst defensive team I've ever had or ever seen. And you're going to fire me? You're going to put this on me? I didn't draft these goofs. And then all of a sudden, look at the Lions, man. They're contending for a playoff spot. Insane.
3 hottest teams in the NFL right now. LA Chargers, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Green Bay Packers. All teams are on fire right now. Can't wait for that game, dude. Cannot wait for the Packers and Lions. And I hate the Packers. I do not like watching the Packers play. But I'm rooting for the Lions, dude. I'm just for that one reason. I'm rooting for the Lions. I want to see the Lions win. They never win. They're the Chargers of the NFC, probably worse. So I'm rooting for the Lions to win for sure. What about you, Mario?
I'm biting kneecaps and taking names, dude. It's like I'm so excited for this Lions-Packers game. Like I said, Lions are so exciting because it's like the best type of football. I'm going to compare it to the Indiana Pacers right now. Like Indiana Pacers don't play any defense, but they score a lot. There's nothing more fun than like a team that's like, they're good, but they're not great yet because they can't figure out the other side of the ball or the other side of the court yet. And it is nothing more fun than just going, we're just going to really outscore you. We're going to be the Pac-12. Let's just go back and forth with Jared Goff, which I can't believe it. So I love that. I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to the game. It's also going to be interesting too, to kind of see what Aaron, if he can kind of like pull one last thing out of his, conspiracy bag. Yeah. Conspiracy hat. And so I think that's going to be interesting too. And I would just love the fact that it could come down to a loss. And that's the reason why Aaron Rodgers doesn't go to the playoffs against not the Vikings, not the Bears. It is the Lions, I think would be, I said I love seeing Rodgers lose to the Niners, but seeing that happen would be so great. I got my family in Detroit. They're going nuts about it. They're like all pumped up. They're probably going to fight someone, probably themselves. But I can't wait for that one. The Ravens-Bengals game, to me, I do not care about. I care about for the Chargers, but I don't think it's going to be a good game. Lamar's not going to play. I think Bengals are going to kill him.
Going back to the Packers real quick before we pick games. Aaron Rodgers was very interesting this week when he talked about that Packers game. And it wasn't even so much how far he thought the team could go. He almost hit it around like this was his last game in a Packers uniform. Mm-hmm. And you're sitting there going, wait a second. We brought this up on the show a couple days ago about the Raider quarterback situation and saying the 2 guys we could see being quarterback for the Raiders next year with Davante Adams would be Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. And we threw that out there. But when Aaron Rodgers talked about it today or yesterday, saying that, his time with the Packers could be coming to an end, and he didn't use those words exactly, but the way he was talking around it made it sound like his future is not in Green Bay. Like he wasn't going to finish his career in Green Bay, that somehow a deal would be made where he ended up with another team, and that other team possibly could be back with Davante Adams and the Raiders. Very, very Very strange the way he's talking. But here's the deal. Let's be honest with these Packer quarterbacks as you follow that team, Mar, and can't stand them. Brett Favre pulled the same garbage till people just got tired of it. Aaron Rodgers is pulling the same garbage. People are tired of it. It's like, move on then. Whatever it is, Aaron, we don't want to play this game anymore. Stop sitting there, putting a gun to our head, so to speak, and act like either you're all in or you're all out. We're done with this. See what happens. Yeah. All right, let's pick some games. Who wants to go first?
You go first.
Okay. Mario, you got them in front of you?
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Okay.
All right, let me get a little separate page here.
All right, I take back what I said about the hottest teams. The Niners have won 9 in a row. I'm an idiot. Sorry for that.
By the way,
Distracted.
the interesting game is also the Steelers. Mike Tomlin's that record of never having a losing season. And you're like, well, this is it. Well, sure enough, man, the Steelers win this week. Mike Tomlin again, another season with a winning record. Insane.
And that sucks.
It sucks.
That team sucks.
Yeah. And
Most
that
amount of money
thing,
spent on an offense. Yeah.
That weird thing too, where they could be in the playoffs.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
On offense or the defense?
They spent more money on defense than any team in the history of football.
Yeah,
and then they spent the least amount of money on offense.
Yeah. It shows. The team sucks.
All
right. You ready to pick?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Mario, you want to throw them out?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I just want to go at the same time.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So Chiefs -9.5 against Raiders.
Chiefs.
Raiders.
Wow.
I think the Chiefs sit, guys.
Titans, Jags. Jags.
Hold on. You think the Chiefs sit, guys? You know the Chiefs hate the Raiders. You think they sit them?
I don't think they blow them out.
Okay. That remember that game's a by itself game. That's a Saturday game. Remember there are 2 games on Saturday. Jags, Titans, Chiefs, Raiders means there'll be a big TV audience. It'll be interesting to see.
I don't know. I'll go Raiders.
Okay.
Titans, Jags 6.5.
Jags.
6.5. It's the Jags. Trevor Lawrence is playing great.
And then we got Bucks, Falcons -4.
I'm going. Falcons are favored
because Bucks already said they're going to bench guys.
Clinch.
Yeah, they clinch and there's no way for them to move up.
That has to be the worst game to.
Yeah, that's a bad game
to watch. And there's some crazy things with the Falcons this week where they're yelling at Mariota saying he quit on the team and hasn't been there to help Desmond Ridder. Got it, man. I told you, man, the 2 things I always say: I never pick the Falcons and never pick Michigan football. Damn it, I'm still not going to do it. I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, me too.
Pats, Bills -7.
Bills.
Yeah, I was about to say, I figured that's going to be an all-arounder. Vikings against Chicago. Vikings -7.5 with Peterman starting for Chicago.
Vikings.
Yeah. Peterman's the guy that threw like the 6 interceptions against the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
In 1 half.
Legend.
Hold my beer. After number 5. Holy cow, man.
Props to them for still calling passing plays.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah, let's not change the game plan. Ravens, Bengals -7.
Bengals.
And then we got Texans, Colts 2.5.
Texans.
I'm gonna go Texans. Yeah.
And then Jets +2 against Dolphins. That moved.
Jets.
Where's that game at?
Miami.
I'm going. I'm gonna go Dolphins.
And then keeping it rolling, Panthers. This is another game. I hope it's never on my TV. Panthers, Saints 3.5.
Panthers.
Okay, Josh said Panthers. You guys got to remember, I got auditory processing, and I think you said Saints.
I said Saints. Saints knocked off the Eagles. I'm going Saints.
Browns, Steelers.
Steelers.
-2.5 is that one. And then Chargers. We got everyone's Chargers.
What's the spread? What it come out to? I predicted 6, and that was too high,
huh? Chargers aren't favored. It's -2.5 Broncos.
What?
So Vegas does not expect Staley to play his guys.
What are you going to do, Mario?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm smarter than Vegas.
Okay, yeah.
No,
That's
I'm
what I
kidding.
say. Wear a T-shirt that says it. Yeah.
Smart
I
Vegas.
don't know. It's I so I've like
Sounds like
it's
free
moved
money to me.
too, but it does look
Yeah.
like free money. It's like they're
It feels like
putting
it's
it
when
right
it sounds
above
too
you.
good to be true.
Yeah.
You know, what do they know?
Yeah.
That with the Bandy anytime touchdown, it's good money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Cancun money.
Yep.
Eagles minus 14 against the Giants.
Giants.
Giants, that's too high. I
Giant,
know
I
the
think,
Eagles have a lot to play for. Is it because the Giants can't move because they're stuck where they are?
I think they're gonna rest a lot of guys.
They hate each other though. I'm going Giants.
Yeah, they do. They hate the
That's
crap out of each other.
yeah, that's a lot. I'm going Giants. It's a lot.
It's another huge spread. Same one. Cardinals, Niners. Niners just 14.
Niners. They're best team in the NFL.
Cardinals quit in week 9.
They really gotta find a better
True.
Hard Knocks. Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks is minus 6. Another disgusting game.
Rams.
You know what's interesting about that is, number one, I love the fact that Bobby Wagner's angry as hell. That he's, made comments. They gave up on me. Screw those guys. He's super mad. But dude, he plays linebacker. How much can he affect the game? Baker Mayfield is one good game, one bad game. One good game, one bad game. He's due for a good game, right? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Yeah, the Wagner thing. It's like, come on, buddy. Cowboys minus 7 against Commanders.
Cowboys.
UNC boy.
Oh, by
starting
the
at
way,
quarterback.
yeah. So is Trubisky. He's never done anything. Here's the Cowboys have a chance still to become the number 1 seed, which is crazy. They're going to play crazy hard. The Commanders are a disaster, man. I'm going Cowboys. I think I'm not wagering, Mario, but to me that's free money too.
Yeah, I actually do agree. Like, dude, poor Sam Howell. Like, your first NFL start comes in week 17 against Parsons.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I assume you're both on Lions.
What's the
Yes.
spread?
4.5. Green Bay.
Oh yeah, Lions.
I'll go Packers. I'll surprise you.
Alrighty.
Come on, it's the Detroit Lions. They're going to get to the finish line and fall down.
All right, let's be respectful.
Yeah.
Who?
Dan
Bobby
Campbell?
Lane?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that all of them?
Yeah, that's all of them.
All right. So go ahead. What are yours? Fire through.
All right, so I'll fire them off and I'll just write them down later to save time. I think it's gonna go Raiders plus 9.5. Chiefs haven't really blown anybody out recently, so that's why I like
They
that
never
one
did.
a lot.
Never did.
So I'm gonna take that one. I think Jags win, but I think 6.5 is a big number, so I'm gonna go Titans. I'm gonna agree with you guys. Gosh, this game sucks. Bucks plus 4. Bills minus 1 million. I would even buy points and take it at 10. I think they're just gonna kill them, and they really need that spot. Vikings, Bears. Peterman's gonna throw 4 picks. I can't wait to throw on his prop to throw an interception. So Vikings minus 7.5. Bengals minus 7. They pretty much came off a bye week. Ravens that's just a disaster in every single way. Lovie Smith is so, I don't want to say dumb, but he's too prideful to lose this last game against the Colts. So he's gonna lose this game. The Bears gonna get the first round pick, and they're gonna be like, "Why did you do that?" That's like the GM going, "We wanted to suck. Let us suck." And he goes, "I don't know. It's a good win today."
Like when the Jets blew it and gave away Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for those 2 wins. I meant nothing. Jets and Dolphins. Dolphins are on third string quarterbacks. I don't think Teddy's going to play this weekend, so I'm going to take Jets plus 2. Actually, like that on the money line as well. By the way, did you hear that they're going to stick with Wilson through hell or high water?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see
What
you
a
now.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you.
Okay. God, there's so many jokes to make about Wilson's appearance too, but we're not going to make those. God, Panthers plus 3.5. I still think they end on a strong note against the Saints. Saints are just injury prone. I think that's a job that I think will be up
The
this
Saints job?
offseason. Yeah, I could see that being open.
Dennis Allen's going to be gone, I think.
Yeah. That'd be really funny if Sean Payne just pulled a joke on all of us and just went back.
Just went back. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to some time off. Yeah.
Yeah. Just want a quick vacay. Browns Steelers. I like Steelers -2.5. I think there's no way Tomlin ends in a bad note and maybe push playoffs. Broncos Chargers. This is free money. I really like the +2.5. It's not even juiced either. It's -105 versus the -110 it's usually at. So I actually really like that. +125 with the money line if you're hinting towards that. All of us have the over in that too. If you want to hit the over, it's at 40. Giants Eagles. I'm actually so opposite. I'm taking Eagles. I think AJ Brown takes his foot and just smashes the city of New York. I think he's pissed off. I think the Eagles really want a dominant win. So I take that. Cardinals is depression. Niners roll them 14. Seahawks give me them -6. Cowboys roll them. Poor Sam Howell. People are saying though North Carolina QBU, Sam Howell, Mitch Trubisky, and Drake May. I'm not saying who, but some people are saying. And I'm biting kneecaps in the last game. Lions +4.
Who's saying that? Mac Brown? Who's saying that? QBU.
I
What?
thought of it today. Literally, I was up at 4:30 this morning, and I had a dream with Mac Brown in it, and I
Oh,
literally
this
was
is terrible.
just writing
Sounds like a
stuff
nightmare.
out. Yeah, it wasn't fun. And I was like QBU a little bit, Trubisky, Howell. Drake May could actually be a good QB.
He could be. He could
Yeah.
be. I want to change one pick. I'll change my. I'm gonna take Raiders over the Chiefs. You made a great point. The Chiefs always play every game tight. There's no way they're blowing the Raiders out. Game's in Las Vegas.
It wouldn't be a spread pick without Dave changing. Am I right,
There you
Josh?
go. Hey,
Mr.
I'm
Backtrack?
gaining
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah,
Hey,
Mr.
whatever.
Backtrack.
I'm not in last place.
Hard to go forward when you backtrack, but keep. Yeah, that's fine. What's your overtime game of the week, Mario?
Oh, overtime game of the week.
It's an
Let's see if
Atlanta
I
game.
can get the odds right here.
It has to be
Then-
Atlanta. It has to be.
It's an Atlanta game.
Where I want tie. Looking at BetMGM, the king of sports books. Make sure to download BetMGM right now and get a free bet as soon as you download. Make sure to check that out right now. King of sports books. I'm gonna go Packers Lions OT. I can't find the
Okay.
bet right
Oh,
now.
that'd be
but
awesome.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Dude.
That's a Sunday
Lions
night
are-
game, right?
If it goes to overtime, Lions for sure lose that game, 100%. But I hope it happens. I hope it goes to overtime. It'd be cool.
in a great way. They will lose.
Dude, the Lions are so jinxed. Jared Goff will get hit in the eye with the coin flip, right in the eye. You know what I mean? Done. Full organization's jinxed.
He's like pivoting to like run back after the coin toss, just tears his ACL. And you're like,
Oh my God.
That was probably a bad
Oh my
one.
gosh, that's terrible. All right, good deal. So we're going to be back after the game, and it is exciting. It's the last week of the regular season. Super excited to see what's going to happen, of course, and see what the Chargers decide to do. Chargers taking on the Broncos. We'll be back for the post-game show, of course, as soon as the game is over. Again, for Josh Palais, Mario Heron, I'm Dave Palais. Thanks again for listening to the Bolt City podcast. Thank you for all the new people that have been jumping on. We've noticed, and again, we appreciate your questions and comments. We take those as well. You can listen, of course, to the podcast, courtesy of Odyssey. And again, at the same time, we appreciate the people who are watching on YouTube as well. We'll see you in a couple of days, everybody.